I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Caroga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to kiss your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. All good, important things are new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a seaport planet. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Caroga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for March 16th, 2022. We have reached the final season. This is season 7, episode 1, Images in the Sand. And welcome to the panel, John DeMarco, Qapla.
Thank you. Greetings, everyone.
Good. Glad you could be here. And anyone else who'd like to join the panel, the link was put in chat. I will pin it to the top in a couple of minutes once I reach it. 54.5 Axis Radio, first in the chat today at 12:10 p.m. Eastern, says, is Skull Dukat in this episode? Well, the skull of Gul Dukat is in the episode, but it's hidden by makeup and fake skin and real skin, I suppose. John, not Ryan Johnson, says, hello in Qapla. Hail Caroga. Hail Caroga, not Ryan Johnson. Yes, how am I doing today? I'm never sure. Never quite sure. John Araki says, trip. I guess because he's third in the chat. And John Araki left $1 super chat long before the stream ever started. Thank you, John Araki. And he also says 32 double D is greater than 10C. Absolutely. Absolutely. On all levels. John Araki says Crystal Skull greater than Skull Dukat. That's a much harder one to agree with. Richie Poole says, welcome, Ezri Dax, to the Star Trek universe. Yay. Yes, this is the episode where we meet Ezri Dax for the first time, played by the lovely Nicole DeBoer, who welcomed us all to this channel many, many, many times over the years. Richie Poole says, hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I want to welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Caroga. Hell yeah, Nicole. Hell yeah, says Richie Poole. No one with a wrench. I assume that's. Actually, I don't even know who that is, but if I had to guess, I'll leave it to myself. Says Ezri is easy on the eyes. Buck kissing Jax rules. Actually, I have no idea who no one is. With the wrench. Josh Street says, Berto Prey, are you ready to stop changing your clocks with daylight saving? I am absolutely ready, Josh Street. Although, even if that bill, which passed the Senate by unanimous voice vote, somehow passed the House and got signed, it doesn't start till 2023. So there's still a few clock changes left coming. Josh Street says, finally, lovely Esri is here. And we want Esri in leather, says Josh Street. Actor says, Natrial is good too. John DeMarco says, greetings to everyone. And then I will go ahead and pin the link to join the panel. I just asked if you're going to join the panel, please have headphones so that when the video is playing, it doesn't, feedback through the headphones. Carlo Albanese says hi, or lack of headphones. Carlo Albanese says hi, hope everyone is as well as can be. Project Storytime says, hail everyone. I made one of these again, been a while. Yes, it has. Project Storytime, I hope you are well. Carlo Albanese, Carlo Albanese had a recent birthday. Happy birthday, Carlo. It says, please leave a like for Karoga. Absolutely. And Carlo, I don't think I streamed on your birthday. So if you'd like me to sing you a happy birthday, I will. Just let me know. Josh Street says, remember to use the Berto Prey at Berto Prey 5 if you want the I lose early chats Berto Prey 5 to read your comments. Carlo Albanese says, what a DAC she is. CDJ says season 7, the best season. Project Storytime says she looks better now than she did back then. I would agree. I'd agree, mostly because of the hair. I prefer the long hair. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. I hope you're holding in there, buddy. Carlos says, it's a fake. It's a fake. It's not season 7. Words and pictures says Qapla Bird of Prey. Good to see you. Good to be here. Good to have you here. Words and pictures. Carlo Albanese says, I liked her in Genius. Deep Water Black. Wesley Crusher's in the house. Says Bird of Prey. Greetings, birds, salty turds, and nerds. And he puts in all the custom emojis. Thank you, Wesley. And a big thank you to Wesley for all the pictures and audio clips he's gotten for the channel and for me over the years. Words and pictures says, I'm usually not out Wednesday evenings, not today. So I came here to hang out with you, panel, and the chat. Oh, thank you. Multi-gunman, Qapla says, long live Karoga, death to Turdistan. And hi, Bird, how's it going? It's going. Carlo Albanese puts in the Mamo Pray and hug emojis. You're welcome, Carlo. Wesley says, no more birds singing. Mago says, glad I made it just in time before the start. Glad you could make it, Mako. Project Storytime says, it's not a Wednesday until I hear do, do, do. And Carlos says, Genesis. Sorry. No problem, Carlo. I think that's the movie you mean. The Multi-Gunman says, Bird of Prey. Speaking of looking better, Jerry Ryan, a.k.a. 7 of 9, looks way better now than she did on Voyager. I don't know if I would go that far, Multi-Gunman. Carlo Albanese says, I would love Nicole to sing happy birthday to me. Well, I would love Nicole to sing happy birthday to you too, Carlo. Unfortunately, that is not something I can have happen. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and just get started with today's episode. Today's episode, again, is Season 7, Episode 1. You can watch it in the Birdo Prey 5 screening room. If you're watching live with us now, go to birdoprey5.com/SR, and you can watch it in HD. And if you do not get to watch this now, you're watching this later on, or you can't get to the screening room, you can bring your own copy on DVD, or if you have Netflix or Paramount Plus or any other service that might be streaming Deep Space Nine, Season 7, Episode 1, Images in the Sand. Next week's episode is Shadows and Symbols. Shadows and Symbols. But today, Images in the Sand. What do we got? Carlos says you are just as good as Nicole DeBoer to sing Happy Birthday. Then I will sing it. Project Storytime says make birds sing again. And Carlos says we need popcorn. And Multi-Gunman says, John DeMarco, are you okay? Bird treating you properly. Blink twice if you need us to call the police. Oh, and he only blinked once. Is blunk a word?
It is now.
Yeah, it is now. Carlos says, thanks for letting us chill on the couch. As always, we'll clean up before we leave so Mama Frey doesn't have to. Thank you, Carlo. And this is for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carlo Albanese. Happy birthday to you. Yay. And Wesley says, dear God, I'm going to need to mute soon. It's a short song, Wes. You can wish happy birthday to Carlo here too. And had you been singing on your own side, my voice wouldn't have carried so far. Welcome, Cinnabon Bunny.
I won't sing, but I will say happy birthday to Carlo.
It's fine. That's fine. You guys are welcome. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Head to the screening room. We'll count down. And Cinnabon says, what are you watching now that DS9 ended? We are watching DS9 over again. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And why does it take so long to load? Okay. Last time on Deep Space Nine, Starfleet has chosen Sisko to plan the invasion of Cardassia. Oh, look at that sexy fleet. Oh no, Dukat becomes the Pah-wraiths. And there's Jadzia's death. There's a trivia question. How many times does Jadzia Dax appear in Season 7?
That's a good one.
Oh no. The Pah-wraiths have entered the wormhole. I never understood why he says he failed as a Starfleet officer. How did he fail as a Starfleet officer?
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with how he kind of collapsed on the bridge. Not sure.
I don't know. I thought it had to do with him not getting Bajor into the Federation, but
Maybe.
I mean, that was really not his fault. Welcome no one to the panel. And no one has left the panel. So Kira is sure whatever Admiral Ross wants to tell her is not good news. The Bajorans have been praying ever since to try to get for 3 days. The cult of the Pah-wraiths. They've been abandoned by the prophet, so they're turning to the Pah-wraiths. In times of comfort, in times of trouble, some people find comfort in hate and fear, says Odo. And Kira says, if the emissary were here, things might be different. Not a word from Captain Sisko in 3 months. Now we know how much time has passed. There's always hope, says Odo. When did you turn into an optimist? Oh, the day they kissed for the first time. Very romantic, Odo. That was some kiss. Odo says it changed his life. Changed the entire future of the Alpha Quadrant. Carlo Albanese says, can't the gods have a break? The Defiant just got back. Everybody's happy they got home. And Worf was in command. And Nog said something about being safe. And Worf says, is that why you joined Starfleet? To be safe? They were protecting a shipment of stem bolts on convoy duty. And Nog says he hopes Commander Worf doesn't think him afraid to fight. That Worf is just going through a bad time. Don't take it personally, says O'Brien. And O'Brien says pretty soon the Defiant will be going to combat duty. Worf will be happy and the rest of them will be miserable. Nog says he's not afraid to fight, he just doesn't want to die. Reasonable.
Or even like lose a leg or something.
Yeah. Might lose a leg. So Sisko's playing the piano at his dad's restaurant. His dad is mingling with the crowd. I wonder how one becomes a restaurateur in the future. Do you have to buy a restaurant? Do they just give you one? I mean, is it an elected position? Jake is getting a little annoyed. He hasn't left a restaurant in 3 months. And out of nowhere, the baseball falls off the piano. He bends down slowly to pick it up. And he has a vision. The baseball is watching him. He's in all white. He digs in the sand. It's a lot of beach, but no ocean. He can dig faster with his hands than the shovel. It's a face. Something is under the sheet. It's a face. It's got eyes. The eyes open. It's a woman. Carlos is maybe a family legacy, like a Picard's vineyard. Except in Star Trek Picard, it really wasn't much of a legacy. His parents moved there. It was abandoned. Josh reads the bird of prey. Looks like Karoga. A lot of beach, but no water. So Sisko says if he got a vision from the prophets, he has to find that woman. Is this going to be a very difficult thing to do? Or is it going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience? You decide. Do. 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 Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Josh Reed says, who does the do better? DS9 or Bird of Prey?
Nobody does it like Bird.
So Admiral Ross is saying there's nothing for Kira to be upset about. He met Senator Cretak. Seems to be very nice. Just a few offices from the senator's staff, some personal guard, just a temporary arrangement for them on the station till the war's over. Kira says, when will that be? Admiral Ross says, let's get one thing straight. I came here as a courtesy. The decision's already been made. Kira says, so I have to live with it? Admiral Ross says, that's right. You've done a fine job taking over for Sisko. She insists he's just keeping the seat warm. Admiral Ross says, you still think he's coming back? She says, don't you? He doesn't say anything. He'll be in touch. It's a fair question. Mike Richards says, I forgot the credits. Spoiled the reveal. Oh. Project Storytime says, Bird, welcome again. The enemy is bottled up in the Chintaka system. Tamar is offering him a glass of Kanar. Tamar says he wouldn't trust I could ask him if he'd enjoy a glass of Kanar. And Wayun says, tell me, Tamar, when you're alone, do you even bother with the glass? Or do you just drink the swill straight from the bottle? How do you owe Gul Dukat a debt of gratitude? Somehow, releasing the Pah-wraiths have shifted the war into their favor. Tamar asks if he ever wonders what really goes on inside the wormhole. Pah-wraiths and prophets locked in some type of celestial battle. It's fascinating. Wayun says, never realized Tamar has such a vivid imagination. Tamar says, there's a lot of me about you don't know. He said, just remember, too much imagination can be dangerous. Cinnabon says Sisko is a deserter. He is. He is. He left the battle during a war. So apparently they've got some fancy smancy software to just build people's faces. Armstrong Park, as in Louis Armstrong. So Sisko's recreating the woman in his vision. And Jake just so happens to recognize her. Hey, I've seen that woman before in a photograph. He'll be right back. He knows who the photograph is. So Jake apparently has photographic memory when it comes to photographs.
I guess that's a useful skill for a reporter to have.
I guess, yeah. Actress is back just in time for the end of the credits. Nice. And he says, that's her, isn't it? And brings over the photograph. He's with Grandpa, young Grandpa. Who is she? You have to ask Grandpa. And now he just happens to walk in. It's like, ask me what? This woman with you. And uh-oh. Where'd you get this? Jake's like, I found it last week cleaning out the storage room. I was going to ask him about it. Who is she, Dad? No one at all. No one at all. And he runs away. Stop. Don't ask him again. If you ask him a third time, he will have to answer. Those are the rules. Oh, poor Worf. Looking at his wedding picture with Jadzia. It's nice to know that even in the distant future, you still get a paper photograph wedding picture. Carlos says Jake uses used to whack off to that picture as a kid. That's why he recognized it. Worf comes to Vic Fontaine's. Vic says, oh, let's do all these fun things. And Worf just says, sing the song, sing the song. Vic doesn't want to sing it, but then Worf says, you're a hologram. You're programmed to do as I say. Sing the song. And Vic is like, oh, it's your dime. Don't say I didn't warn you. Which reminds of a story. Now, sing, says Worf, insists. Okay. He has to sing. Qapla Arabic Sander. And he's singing. Oh, I wish I could sing better. If I honestly could sing, I would sing it. And so he's singing, what's it called? You're nothing till somebody loves you. Is that it? No.
Well, All the Way is the name of the song, I think.
All the Way. God damn it. Thank you, John.
No problem.
Then later he sings, you're nothing till somebody loves you. Or is that the name of the song? I remember the first time watching these episodes, I used to get upset that they sang so much. And like they should have been doing more Trek stuff. Anyway, Worf starts smashing the place after he gets angry, which is what you would think is one of the things you would do in a, hollow suite. So the Romulan is saying of all these chairs on this station's uncomfortable. Anyway, Kira comes to see her, says hopes you find the accommodation satisfactory. Other chairs, he says, I think will be quite comfortable. I trust that won't be a problem for her. Kira says, meaning what? She says, meaning my people have a reputation for arrogance. I'm afraid it's well deserved. Kira says, but you're different. So Admiral Ross tells her. The Admiral and her have a good working relationship. She hopes to have a similar relationship. She looks forward to working with the common goal, the destruction of the Dominion. Josh treats as good thing Troy got back with Riker. She might have ended up like Jadzia and Kaler. Vic Fontaine is saying if he wants to hear All the Way again, he'll have to buy a Sinatra album. He's not going to sing it anymore. All the Way was Jadzia's favorite song. And Bashir says Klingons usually have a shorter mourning period than humans. They accept death more readily. I mean, but he was brought up by humans. Anyway. Vic Fontaine says if he doesn't stop soon, he'll be out of business. His staff is refusing to work. And he's like, Quark says, they can't refuse to work. They're holograms. And Vic says they don't know that. So now we're back at Sisko's restaurant, where I guess is the apartment above the restaurant. And the father is sitting, drinking coffee or something. Sisko's like, tell me what I need to know. He's like, I already told you she's no one. You got to do better. He's like, leave it be. He can't leave it be. He needs to know. He saw her in a vision. Vision the prophet sent. She was the woman in the desert. That's impossible. You couldn't have seen her. He doesn't want to talk about it. He holds his dad. He's assaulting his own father. He's shaking him. Elder abuse. Elder abuse. To the list of charges against Captain Sisko. Hello?
Torino. I'm running for governor because New York is in.
Okay, Rob. Oh, no. She was the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen. A few months later, they were married. Married, says Sisko. You had a wife before Mama? He's like, it's a little more complicated than that. Sarah was your mother. Oh my God. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Even today in 2022, people get DNA tests all the effing time. How is it that he didn't know he was not biologically related to his mother?
I guess he just never bothered to check.
Two days after her first birthday, he disappeared. She disappeared. Joseph Sisko asked himself 1,000 times, why did she disappear? She was living in Australia. Oi! You can't speak with her. She died. She's dead. I killed her myself, that bitch. No, why didn't you tell me? I wanted to. You were so young. Grew up, it didn't make it easier. Sorry he didn't tell her. He didn't want anything to get in the way of his other mother. Yeah, you say that now, Ben, but I think you can forgive this. Yeah, if life is full of choices, they made a mistake. Cinnabon says she disappeared and was forced to dance in a cage. Maybe she liked dancing in a cage. The money is very good, I hear. He doesn't understand why the prophets would send him a vision of Sarah. Says maybe learning the truth about his mother is the first step of the journey. Joseph Sisko says, from here on out, I hope the prophets keep their noses out of my business. Ben asks if there's any other secrets the father has, and he says just his gumbo recipe, and he's taking that to his grave. And we get a nice picture of the station with Romulan ships and others. She's buried in the sands of the Arizona desert, says Cinnabon. So Kira sees the Romulan trying some Bajoran food. She never thought she'd see a Romulan eating a jumja stick. It has a distinct flavor. Kira can't stand them. They're too sweet. Romulan Olga stick. They're very tart. One more thing. Bajor's fourth moon, uninhabited. Too many wounded or dying on a long journey to Romulus. Will they allow him to set up a medical facility? She'll ask the Council of Ministers. She's smiling. She's so happy to work with the Romulans. Oh,
and Josh points out. Sorry.
Oh, no, please.
Josh points out also Sisko's dad is not revealing that time he almost started a war between the Klingons and the Federation.
Yes, good. Warfast, why does Chief O'Brien want to come in? And he's bringing a bottle of alcohol. He doesn't have any clean glasses. He said, who needs glasses anyway? I'll just drink straight from the bottle rather than replicate glasses, because that's not a thing. Very smooth. Good night, Chief. He's throwing it out to Chief. He came to talk. Anything Wolf wants to talk about. Old friends, the Enterprise. Remember, what's his name? Lieutenant Broccoli? No, Barclay. He says Barclay. Worf knows he's not getting rid of O'Brien too easily. So O'Brien says he found out he should never try to match drinks with a Klingon. Someday that crazy Klingon is going to get tired of smashing up holosuite bar and smash up a real one. Talked about a lot of things. His son, growing up in Russia. It wasn't until 0400, the third bottle of blood wine, that he mentioned Jadzia. She's not in Sto-vo-kor. Quark asks, what would she be doing there? She's not a Klingon. According to Worf, she was. She joined the house of Martok. She never ate the heart of one of her enemies, though, but she didn't die in glorious battle. Being murdered by a Pah-wraith in cold blood doesn't count. But there is a way to ensure her getting into Sto-vo-kor. He has to win a great medal in her name. Well, Quark says I can let him beat me at Tongo. Yeah, talk to Admiral Ross. Admiral, could you please send Defiant on the most dangerous mission you can think of? Jadzia needs to get in Sto-vo-kor. Yeah, that's not a good thing to ask. Oh, but General Martok, he might help. And Bashir says, who better than a Klingon to help a Klingon? Darth Maul says, you want a Jamja stick? I got your Jamja stick right here. Joseph came to give him something of Sarah's. It was hers. He thinks she would have wanted him to have it. There's some kind of writing on the back. Holy crap. It's Bajoran. Ancient Bajoran. What does it say? He doesn't know, but he intends to find out. It says, Ben, I am your mother. He doesn't recall her ever even mentioning Bajor. Finally, some progress. The inscription says, orb of the emissary. And nobody ever heard of the orb of the emissary. Joseph says, it sounds like you've reached a dead end. Ben says, maybe that one didn't go dark when all the others did. Jake says, if you find it, you could contact the prophets. He says, where are you going to look? Tyree, because that's where he is in the vision. When he saw Sarah. The latest casualty reports. Romulans took the brunt of the assault. What matters is that they held their position. They now have the hospital complex. So I guess another few weeks have gone by, maybe another month. All of Romulus owes a debt of gratitude to Kira Nerys. Odo says, do you have a moment? This morning, a Starfleet transport with wounded was denied permission to dock at the hospital complex. But most of the wounded were Vulcans. Vulcans and Romulans share, the same physiology. It doesn't change just because they're allies against the Dominion, is that they had a mutual distrust and their sensor readings, high concentrations of some type of isotope, which indicates the presence of Romulan torpedoes, and Kira is going to look into it. And now Worf is playing Batleth in the holodeck, and Martok comes in with his Batleth and yells, defend yourself. He's like, how do you like convoy duty? Worf says he doesn't. He said, I thought you were getting soft. I need a first officer for a dangerous mission. How dangerous? Dangerous enough to ensure Jadzia a place in Stovacor. And Worf beats Martok. He says, in that case, you have found your first officer. Excellent. He helps Martok up. It will be a great victory. Worf says, I will make sure of it. Hey, rock solid LDG. LDG says, damn, season 7 already. Feels like yesterday was Way of the Warrior. Rock solid says, Bird of Prey, how about a shout out to Joseph Sisko for nailing a prophet? Yep. Well done. And just like that, a mysterious woman appears in a cloak. Emissary, I've come a long way to see you. Remember, it's sacred, will be long remembered. That's ancient Bajoran. The emissary is wise. Even in the future, you can't trust people covering their heads. Your work is finished. The orb you are seeking, the orb of the emissary. Ah! Oh my God, stabbed! Stabbed the emissary! You're never going to find the orb of the emissary. How did he know? They were looking for the orb of the emissary. And Jake nails him with a bag of flour? That knocked out the guy? A bag of soft flour?
Flour can be pretty heavy.
I don't care how heavy. Shrimp Creole is today's special. Oh, actually, it's barbecued shrimp. Actually, it's whatever you want it to be. It was released from the hospital 2 hours ago. They had to give her a report to Starfleet security. These are members of a cult that worshipped the Pah-wraiths. Josh Reed says, why did that Krogan do that? He wasn't a Krogan. The cult thinks you're looking for the orb of the emissary. Chances the Pah-wraiths do as well. Qapla to Worf and the success of his mission. Quark says, what makes him think one ship is going to destroy the shipyards if a whole fleet didn't? Quark says, why you're not going? And Bashir is going. He's never been more serious in his life. He's going to help Jadzia get in Sto-vo-kor. And Quark is like, what makes you think she wants to get there? Spend her eternity in Sto-vo-kor. Rampaging Klingons. And O'Brien says, what if Jadzia prefers to go wherever Trills go when they die? Well, it's his final word. He's going to help her. And O'Brien says, you know what this means, don't you? He says, no, it means I'm going to risk my life for a friend who's going to risk his life in a very dubious cause. Welcome to the panel, Rock Solid.
Hey, yo.
Your ratings?
Figured
what you up to? Uh-oh. Apparently, they're no longer welcome on the moon. The 7,000 plasma torpedoes was secretly deployed there.
It's defensive.
The weapons of the defense. Rock Solid, what you up to?
Not much. Just I needed some break from some HTML and saw that you were streaming, so I figured I'd hop on and hang out for a bit with you guys.
Oh, very cool. Yes, HTML can become a bit repetitive.
C:, enter:, pound, pound, pound.
Either you remove the weapons or we will, says Kira. Hello, Robert Rose Jr. Says hello, Mamo Prey, Birdo Prey, Mamo Prey, and the Sassy. Cinnabon says arrest Kira. Justice for Jadzia. Darth Maul says eyes of a wormhole most stable, the world that would draw him in. How prophetic. Prophetic. Shit.
Prophetic.
Prophetic. His words were. Thank you.
I mean, you can't even say Mario correctly, so how can we expect you to say prophetic correctly?
I am saying Mario correctly.
No, you're saying Mary. Oh.
Carlos
Like
has
Mario
did
England.
more for the Pah-wraiths than any Bajoran. Oh, so the dad and Jake are all going with Sisko to the planet. He says, "Have you lost your minds?" They all pack their bags. There's a knocking at the door. Who could that be? Oh, it's a young female officer.
Imposter! Pretender to the throne!
She's here to see Ben. She's not hungry.
She doesn't make me thirsty
and he'd
either.
Be gone. He decided to play the piano. Hello, Benjamin. Random trill. You wouldn't think it's Jadzia. It's me, Dax.
Why would you insult the memory of Jadzia? That's Dax, not Jadzia. They're different, not the same.
All I know is that Jake is looking at her and thinking, I got a shot. I'm in the running. Aravic Saunders is Bird of Prey. So when does your new series Domes premiere? As soon as CBS or Netflix is willing to pay me a bunch of money for the rights to Domes. Josh Street says, we demand part 2. I'm sorry, Josh Street. I have physical therapy coming up in about 30 minutes. So we can't do a second half. Even with Rock Solid here, I can't do another episode right now. Timing is just not going to work today.
It's because he doesn't love you people. He's
I
only
do
thinking
love
of himself.
I will be right back. So, guys, please talk amongst yourselves.
So this is definitely a distinctive derivation and derivative sort of path that they're taking now with the show. You've got so many differences here with not just Ezri coming into the show, but also just I thought that this season was a real change in pacing for the series. John, what did you think?
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I think this, compared to other season premieres, for example, this was much more quieter with less action, more introspective.
And it almost seems, at least to me in a way, like they almost were trying to rush the conclusion of the war, and it didn't seem to be as central of a story point. Like it was always there in the background, but it never had the overwhelming presence as it did in the last season, for example.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mox is in the house. How you doing, Sean? I gotta find the stamp email. Mako says, yeah, it seems like they got bored of the war and focused on other things. Yeah, I mean, we did get some interesting character changes with Odo, I think, and him really exploring his history and answering a lot of questions. But I think that it raised more questions that never got answered myself.
I remember I was pissed that we had a new Dax. I was pissed that we were lost so much of the episode to songs. But in hindsight, I love the new Dax and I love the songs. So I'm okay with it now. But the first time I watched, I thought it was a total waste. That we could have got so much more on the prophets, and the war and characters we already knew. Like, why would you waste half a season developing a brand new character from scratch, or even two new characters from scratch? Vic Fontaine and Dax were both, I thought, didn't need to be added, did not need it to be added to the story. But now, many years later, I wouldn't want to lose either of those characters. So
the problem that I always had with Ezri, though, is she seemed out of place, like unnaturally so. Like she put herself in situations that made her deliberately stick out. And obviously not her, it's the writers, the directors, the producers, so on and so forth. But it seemed like they created conflict for the sake of conflict versus like, okay, this is odd, this is weird. It's just the way that this culture is. Let's move forward from it. It just didn't seem. She seemed like a whiny teenager throughout most of the seventh season, I thought.
Ezri?
Yes. I just don't know should I talk to Worf or not? Should I talk to John? I don't know what to do. There was an episode or two where she even talked about resigning her commission.
Yeah, it's the next episode.
Is it? Okay. She was good at when she was after that murder, says Carlo.
She was. Carlo says vote 1 for part 2 now. I'm sorry, Carlo. It just doesn't work that way. Darth Maul says, I need to be here for this stream. Casting a new James Memberberry Kirk for Strange New Worlds pissed me off. Oh, it does. It pissed me off too. I don't believe, though, where Salty Tracker thinks they photoshopped a head onto Pike. I did see the video by Darren, but I don't know what the rank mean. I don't really care what the ranks mean. But I just saying that is not Pike's body. That's not Ensign Mount's body. The uniform doesn't look like that on him. Clearly, they didn't have, whoever they put in the uniform, they didn't have it sized right for him. They used one a little too big. Maybe it was made for Ensign Mount, but the person who's in that uniform isn't big enough to fill out that uniform. Like, that's certainly not the uniform they're going to wear during episodes. That was just used for a teaser or something. So I don't think it was photoshopped. And if it was, I don't think it's a different head. Moxley fans says, Bird of Prey, Qapla' Bird. Hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you, Moxley. And hope you're doing well. Mako says, yeah, it seemed like they got bored of the war and focused on other things. Moxley says hi to Gary. Josh Reed says, when season 6 ended, Paramount heads tell them season 7 was the last season. I think they always knew season 7 was the last season because TNG ended after 7. I don't think anybody ever anticipated going beyond 7. Moxley says they're well. Good to hear. Carlo says war never changes. Josh Reed says no, war changes. The hell that is in war, it never changes. Carlo, yeah, she was good when she went after the murderer. Josh Reed says, we can do it without you, Bird, since you have John on the panel. It's true. If I had the episode ready to go, I might even start it and let that happen, but
you were clearly not a Cub Scout, were you?
Well, the only episode I have ready to go is Little Green Men.
Run it!
There you go.
Now, Cinnabon Bunny here says vampires are ruining Trek. Now, we just recently had scientific proof that vampires become bats with the new Batman movie.
Do you think vampires are responsible for spreading a certain virus?
No, that's not what I was saying. And you're clearly missing the reference here. Who is the favorite sparkly vampire of Jedi Bill?
I have no idea.
Robert Pattinson from Twilight. Who does Robert Pattinson play in his most recent movie?
I have no idea who that is.
He's Batman. So the dude from the Twilight movies, who was a vampire, now plays Batman. Vampires turn into bats. Case closed.
I see.
I don't think you do.
No, I don't. But I understand what you're saying. I just never knew the connection. And I can live with that. I can live with that. Did you pick up on that connection?
I did.
Yes, now we can delete this entire personal log.
Exactly. Before we go, anyone, rock solid, anything you want to say?
New episode up from earlier today, talking about how to get a good video quality out of the Nintendo Wii for $6 to get you to an HDMI connector, because Nintendo for some reason decided people don't need HDMI in 2006.
$6, that's a little too much. A little too rich. But do you have anything for $2.99?
Well, here's the thing. If you use your affiliate link money that you get, because I know you're rolling in that fat Amazon affiliate link money, just use your monthly credit, and for $6, you can do that now. You still have to pay the tax. But, I mean, since you're a Biden supporter, I'm sure that you don't mind that whatsoever. And above and beyond that, there's a new Kirby game coming out a week from this Friday. So I've got a collaboration with some smaller YouTubers I wanted to invite onto my channel to talk about their favorite memories about the Kirby games on the Game Boy, the NES, Super NES, so on and so forth, and hopefully help each and every one of those channels get some more exposure to them, because we love when small channels get exposed.
Wow.
Or something like that.
Something like that, indeed. Okay. John DeMarco, anything you got to say?
Just want to say thanks for doing DS9. It's always fun, and thanks for having me on the panel.
Thank you. And so tonight is Jeopardy on Salty again?
It's Thursday night.
Oh, right.
Tomorrow.
Today's Wednesday.
Right.
God damn it. All right, tomorrow night.
It's amazing that DS9 Wednesday happens on Wednesday, Bird.
It's quite a coincidence.
It's like Lou Gehrig died of Lou Gehrig's disease. How did he not see that coming?
Welcome, Multi-Gun Man. Welcome back. As for John and Gary, guys, thank you for joining the panel. Everyone else, take care. Bird and panel out. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop, affiliate links, and all your Birdo Prey 5 needs. At the main Birdo Prey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Birdo Prey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Birdo Prey 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Karoga.